said that,
this is gonna be another game coming up right now, and it's gonna be between, in the top left-hand corner, spawning as the red Terran. It is ROOTMaSa.
ROOTMaSa. And his opponent on this map, Ohana, is the gentleman who just lost to Believe. A heartbreaking loss, a well-fought battle, though. It is our purple Protoss. It is exioNAmour. Right after that game, Songers and I went out there into the crowd of people playing on the computers, and Believe was talking about the game to us, and like Mario and Dave were talking about the game, and everybody was just, there's like a buzz in the air.
Exactly.
Everybody's like, yo, that was actually really good PvP. He played really well. So a more Protoss, our player playing Protoss could very well take at least a game off of Masa, and we'll see how this pans out.
And it looks like here, this PvT, I mean, Amour, when we saw him in the PvP, did like his aggressive play. So we're going to see if that carries over into his PvT play. I know that, even for myself, when I play PvP, I always like to be aggressive. However, in PvT, I like to play very defensively. So
just
it
be
could
able
differ.
to defend those timings,
Exactly.
defend that medevac, defend that all in at the start.
I find every time I'm aggressive in PvT, they always laugh at me with their bunkers, and then I just lose.
So we will see, although I know exioNAmour does favor that really aggressive play. We'll see if he's the kind of guy who likes to bust bunkers or likes to just macro up and bide his time.
So it looks like the probe coming out now, going for that early scout. Well, not too early, but typically early scout.
A scout.
He's going
for a scout.
He's going for a scout of the base. Going to be arriving there very soon. We see the Cybercore coming down, so not a Nexus first play coming out from Amour here.
No, not at all. And we saw that both of our players have one Vespian gas extracting building each, so both players decided to tech up, but not committing too much to this.
Sorry.
Songers is totally... This has been a long day for us. We've been casting since like 11 a.m. today.
Yep.
We had one break when Drekken and Thomas Schiffer were casting, and shout out to them. Thank you so much for helping us out, guys. And
I got to eat my chicken.
Back doing this stuff.
You got to eat your sandwich. I got to eat my chicken.
Oh, it was so good.
That's a great sandwich.
I was so hungry.
So it looks like from Terran here, after getting that gas, so we knew that some kind of aggressive play was happening, and it looks like it's going to be concussive shells and marauders, and there's going to be some sort of pressure happening at the front.
This is the bane of all stalkers' existence. Those marauders just straight up destroy those stalkers, and the concussive shells ensures that nobody gets away, and Protoss just do not want to lose any units, so this represents a tremendous advantage at the beginning of the game if he should get this up and get numbers sufficient to destroy even a small number of these stalkers
now,
and gateway units.
Protoss is known to go for this kind of scout with a stalker and a zealot. Now, with concussive shells completed, if Protoss oversteps their boundaries by just a bit, most likely they're going to lose both of those units.
Concussive shells are now done. This one marauder is enough to slow down this stalker to defeat him and bring him down to the ground in a flaming heap of armor. And there it is. This stalker has fallen into the trap. He's in the quicksand. There is no escape at this point.
And there goes the stalker going down. And you know, as a Protoss, these early units are so expensive and so important to defend any sort of Terran aggression. With that one stalker down, what does Amour have in his base? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing except one zealot, I think I saw.
Yeah.
But even the zealot being kited and also slowed, really, this concussive shell, I mean, it's not, oh, GG already, but it's just, it's such a difficult thing to claw your way out of.
It's going to be very annoying to deal with. And we can see here, the one zealot on top, he's just going to be kited forever. Look at that. Can't even get a single hit off. Decides to turn around. But really, if you turn around, you're going to die anyway. So here comes the pressure. And what's popping out from that thing right now? It's going to be a stalker, but stalker against two marauders? That's not going to be enough. He's going to have to pull probes to defend this if Masa decides to attack.
It looks like Masa's playing a little bit of mercy and decides to actually pull off. Maybe doesn't want to commit and go too deep. Notices that the warp tech is done, and now units can just pop up at any second. The numbers of marauders are 3. The numbers of stalkers are 3. Those marauders with that Marine brother should be able to attack and defeat them easily. But it looks like Masa's happy. He took out a zealot, he took out a stalker, and he's like, I'll take that win, and decides to go back towards his base.
And didn't even try to do any pressure on the Nexus over here. I wonder why he went back so far. Maybe he just didn't want to get trapped by any sort of force field and actually lose a little advantage that he had right there. So not taking any probes damage. So this is pretty good for Amour right now.
Indeed. Well, Masa is on his last bullet. He is in the loser's round, so maybe doesn't want to take any chances, probably even saw Amour play in the last round and said, this guy's not to be taken lightly.
Exactly.
We do see Stim coming out for Masa. You see it actually right there in the UI of this custom mod from GameHeart. So shout out GameHeart once again. Thank you so much for this awesome mod. And a factory coming out for Masa. So transitioning into a little bit of mech play. Or maybe just using it to get into Starport?
Yeah, that seems more likely, especially with the amount of bio that he's going with right now.
Indeed.
So with Steam almost Steam. I almost said Steam almost done.
Steam sales, dude. Steam sales.
Steam is almost done. But the Stim is almost done. He's getting a Robo out now, and now the Protoss army is getting to a little bit more of a comfortable position. However, with Stim done, this little 7-minute push is not something that typically goes in a PvT. We usually see it coming at 5 with just Marines, or coming at 10 with the Medivac tech. And the army in this composition that they have now, the Protoss army should not be able to hold this.
Not at all. These Marauders and Marines should be enough to defeat the small ragtag group of Protoss units up at the front. Imagine how much more stronger this would have been if there was one more Stalker, one more Zealot, which got erased earlier on, and Masa knows this and knows that he can push up to the base. He is sending 150 Mineral Marine just to see what you got, and he's probably feeling pretty comfortable. But again, he is fighting up a ramp, and the defender does have the advantage. Now, one Stalker decided to come out and says, what's up? And then says, no, absolutely.
I'm not sure if that
killed.
was a misclick or not, because that Stalker shouldn't have been out there at all. Interestingly enough,
scout.
Yeah, Masa's not pushing up this ramp. I guess he really is kind of afraid of what kind of sentries are there. But with that scout of the Marine, he should have seen that there were no sentries at all. But it looks like Masa's just going to play safe. He knows he has an advantage right now, so he's just going to keep on pushing it and just get another expansion. He knows Protoss can't attack him anytime soon.
The Robo Bay is going down for Amour, so he is trying to get his Colossus tech as quickly as possible. The Colossus will translate into a huge boon to his army. He needs that range DPS, and he needs that AoE damage. Against a Terran army, you need that AoE damage, and the siege capabilities of those Colossus is exactly what he needs.
And here comes the Terran army once again. I guess he was just waiting for those 2 medivacs, and oh my goodness, one Stalker's gonna get slowed, and that Stalker's gonna be taken down just like that.
And with Stim, can they catch up? No, the army does decide to pull back and get healed instead. The Observer does see the entire army composition and does know what's coming, but he has lost Stalker after Stalker, about 4 by my count by this point. The Zealots are placed in front. The split is good at the front of the ramp. He might just elevator drop into the main though.
The Observer is not following his army, so he's not sure where the Terran army is standing right now. It seems that Believe isn't going to be moving his army just yet, and it looks like we do need a pause from ROOTMaSa over there. I'm looking out the window and I don't see what is going on.
Peon. I don't know what that says.
Poing.
I really don't know what's happening right
Pointy.
So ROOTMaSa did pause the game
Keyboard
abruptly. His keyboard froze, so luckily he was still able to pause. I'm not sure how.
Well, you can just click.
But don't usually people get rid of that thing? You have to press F10?
Well, maybe not. Now we see a Colossus out. The drop is going down inside the base. Amour does not know about this drop, and now he's going to be sniping down that robotic bay, but pushing up from the front of a nice bit of the army over there, going to take that one out, but there goes down the robotics facility, so no more Colossus going to be coming out from there. Lots of damage done to this probe. Zealot's being warped in, Colossus doing some great damage here, but a lot of probes have been lost as well.
As soon as that last Zealot goes down, this Colossus is going to be in major damage. The Marines are actually picked up, interestingly not dropped
at the natural.
The natural is being assaulted as well, and the entire probe line has been erased. And the Colossus finally, almost dead, does take out half of the cargo of that medevac. But really, the damage has been done. Masa's been doing a great job.
I guess the probes didn't die. They were able to escape and hide somewhere. But yeah, a lot of damage was done there. If we look at the upgrades, there's +1 completed for our Terran player here. He has his 3rd base set up, and he also got a robotics facility. That just delays the Colossus tech even more for Amour.
Indeed, he has his thermal lance will benefit his 1 Colossus, but no more Colossus will benefit until that robotics facility is done. So meanwhile, we see a bunch of mules being dropped, a little bit of an army being built, and 4 medevacs there to heal that bio army.
And it seems like Amour trying to play catch-up right now, dropping a 2nd robotics facility. He really wants to keep up. But now an armory is being dropped, so he just wants to continue with those upgrades for his bio army.
Definitely wants to get those 2-2 upgrades. Can't get them without that armory. Can't get them armory without a factory. So you are pointing at something, but you're not telling me what you're pointing at. Go ahead.
I was just saying that the +1 armor is complete. He's still going to use this Masa's still going to use this drop just to keep the army in position there. But with +1 armor complete, he's going to be able to nullify the +1 weapon of Masa.
Masa is really trying to tear apart this Protoss army. The Colossus make the Protoss army a lot slower, even though the damage output is much better. And now we see 2 Colossus coming out at a time. So Armor trying to make up for lost time. Does have a little bit of an army in the back of his base to defend, and now he'll be producing Colossus in much greater numbers. Hopefully it'll be enough to make this game last a little bit longer, because I'd like to see how he deals this Bio Ball.
Yeah, so as this Bio Ball is pushing across the map, we can see that something's going to come out to meet him. I'm not sure what those are. Those are actually another Medivac and a Marauder. You can see that the third base, there's been a third base of Amour. There's been a factory liner there, so no third base definitely coming. So here comes the stimming up the ramp. The force fields, there are no force fields. The no force are getting down. The army has moved up all the way. The surround is great. Colossus is doing a lot of damage, and the Vikings are taking out the Colossus. And oh my goodness, it looks like the Protoss army just got melted by the DPS of
the Marine army now is getting cleaned up as well. Unfortunately, the Colossus are being hard countered by the Vikings, and there's no answer for that. No Stalkers in production, just a bunch of Zealots and Colossus. The ground army is being taken care of, but the Marauders are in enough number to push forward. Look at the stutter step. The Marauders are pushing forward, and Amour has to GG out.